Bitcoin broke out yesterday. So this is what I mean when I say, like, as a trader, you never want to be a bull or a bear. You have to be, and I should say perma bull or bear. You have your short-term outlook, your midterm outlook, and your long-term outlook. All right, so let's talk about it. My short-term outlook when we were up here was bearish. We all know that. I said 31,000, 30,000 area, we're going to fall back from it. Okay, short-term outlook, correct. Now, my midterm outlook continues to be skeptical. My midterm outlook continues to be, there's still a chance we could test the 15,000 level, maybe 12, 13, maybe 10 if in a worst-case scenario. But my long-term outlook on Bitcoin is like about as rosy as anyone out there, the maxis or whatever. I do think it's going north of 100,000, probably within the next 5 years, maybe even higher than that. But let's talk charts now. Let's go to the near term, because the near term was negative. Now the near term has flipped positive and again, this is just for a short-term outlook, but we remember this trend line here to here, right? And then it hit multiple times here and it hit here. Remember the thought process of trend lines. When you have a resistance line, the more you hit the resistance line, the weaker it becomes until you finally break through it, right? The door thesis or the door analogy, right? If I ram into a door, the more I hit that door, the weaker it becomes. Eventually it breaks down. That's the thought process here. So we had a hit here. We had multiple hits here. We had a hit here. And finally yesterday, we broke out right there. Now, as long as we hold above this level, all of a sudden, it goes from a negative bias to a short-term positive bias. What's your short-term target? Let's talk about it real quick. This pivot high around 28,100 is your short-term pivot high right there. If it gets through that, it has a shot at this trend line here. All right, so again, this is the key. Perma bull, perma bear, doesn't really matter. You don't want to be that. You want to, if you're a trader like myself, as a swing trader or a day trader, you're looking for the little signals that will tell you that. And by the way, I thought this down here was a really interesting pivot point because up until this point, bad news, good news, we had the Ripple news here and we reversed it the next day. We had the grayscale news here and 2 days later we reversed. Here we broke down and the next day we reversed. That was the first time we had a bullish reversal versus bearish reversals. So again, that was a small positive. Then we went up, we hammered, and finally broke out. So right now, your bias on a short-term Bitcoin move is to the upside to about 28,000, 28,100. We'll see again if we get through that point or not. Okay, now again, midterm for me, I still don't trust the stock market. The stock market to me looks like a house of cards. The economy looks like a house of cards. Long-term, yeah, Bitcoin's going to do great as the digital gold. Midterm, I'm still skeptical if it doesn't go back down to 20, maybe retest those lows or even go lower.
MicroStrategy MSTR stands out as both a software business and a major Bitcoin holder. Its core business stability sets it apart from other crypto-related stocks tied directly to Bitcoin's price. MSTR's ability to raise capital at attractive terms adds to its appeal, although it's not without risks. Here's the magic: MSTR raises capital at attractive terms. Low-interest debt fuels their Bitcoin accumulation. Their recent sale of shares added more firepower to their Bitcoin treasure chest. But wait, there are risks in this game. What if MSTR decides to sell its Bitcoin? It could rattle investors. Also, valuing MSTR isn't a straightforward act. It's a complex ballet. Wild swings in Bitcoin's value add to the complexity. But in the end, MSTR is bullish. For those eyeing Bitcoin, it might be waiting for a spot ETF. With MSTR, you're not just watching a show, you're part of the act and it's a drama worth watching. The US SEC is like a cautious conductor delaying its verdicts on prominent Bitcoin spot ETFs. Fidelity and WisdomTree's ETF applications face the waiting game, with VanEck also expected to be deferred. This delay is a sole act. Previously, the SEC postponed decisions on applications from big players like BlackRock, Invesco, Valkyrie, and Bitwise for spot Bitcoin ETFs. Why the hesitation? It's like a dance with regulatory partners, with concerns about market volatility, manipulation, and the crypto market's youth taking the lead. All eyes are on the SEC as their decisions could transform crypto's role in the financial world. The crypto community, it's divided. Some see these delays as necessary for stability, while others view them as hurdles to crypto's integration. In this waiting game, remember, the SEC's decisions will sway the crypto future in the financial landscape. Bitcoin's price on Binance plunged to $2,706.20 in a surprising move. It was a Binance glitch in the futures trading section for BTC to USDT, not a real dip. Binance's CDO, CZ, quickly addressed it, assuring users. This incident mirrored a past anomaly with XRP on Gemini. The ongoing Bitcoin ETF delays could align perfectly with Bitcoin's 2024 halving, potentially sparking a bull run. Some suspect this timing isn't coincidental, raising questions about a choreographed market strategy. Let's continue our enlightening discussion with Gareth Soloway.
Now, the PCE data just came out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And what we're basically seeing is inflation sped up in August on higher gas prices. But honestly, this is the key. But more broadly, it continues to slow. That's the headline the markets are paying attention to. So we're seeing the markets rally pre-market on the back of this. So that's a very positive thing right here. Now, just looking at some of the core numbers here, again, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but the PCE index rose 0.4 in August. That was expectations. Lower here, core PCE price index for August only rose 0.1%. Taking out food and energy, just 0.1%. That is better than expected. So what does that mean? It means the markets are rallying higher here. Yields are pulling back. The dollar's pulling back. And hello, rally in the stock market. All right. Now, the key here is this, guys. This is what gets me freaking excited, is that yesterday we saw signs of this. In fact, I gave you guys in the last two game plans a heads up that we were reaching our highest point on the 10-year. And the 10-year, again, we know the markets move inverse to the 10-year. So check this out, guys. This is how cool this stuff is. This trend line, which again, if I zoom out, you can see exactly how far this thing goes back. We actually have to go to the weekly chart and even zoom back. And again, look at this, right? And what I was showing over here, take a look, right? So what's so cool about this is that we hit the line, we pierce the line, retrace to the line here, into the line, we hit it, we hit it, we hit it. Notice every time you're hitting it, you're pulling back. Hit it, pull back. Well, what does that imply? Think about just logic. Just use logic, no emotion, because if you paid attention to emotion yesterday, what happened? Yields were above the level. They were approaching 4.7%. They were piercing that trend line. Oh my goodness, if you turned on the media, it was freaking out. Freaking out. But ultimately, again, stick with logic, calm, collected, use your charts, use your probabilities. And all of a sudden, what happened yesterday? And this, again, is just the beauty of charts and why I do these game plans, because it enlightens you on this stuff, is that look at what happened. If we go back to our daily chart and we zoom in, we got a reversal intraday after topping there, right? Reversal intraday, and we closed with a topping tail. What are topping tails? Topping tails occur at the highs of charts. You have to have a long tail like this, and you must close in the lower 25% of the entire length of the candle. When that happens, probability tells you there is a top in place. What are yields doing today? They're falling more because, again, the topping tail and the trend line told us that was the most probable outcome here. And sure enough, case in point, beautiful drop on the 10-year today following yesterday's pierce, which, by the way, please understand this. And I know a lot of you guys that are watching have been following me for years, so you understand this. For those of you that are new, this is what happens. What happens is algorithms and just greed or emotion makes things pierce levels, because they know that if you pierce a level, there's a certain amount of people that will stop out above the level. If you were one of those people that got whipped out because of that, that's okay. Just learn from it. But again, the algorithms know this. This is why on pierces of levels, you can't allow yourself to get whipped out. See where it closes. Learn the confirmation signal in the Winning Trader series. It will change your life. In any case, topping tail, reversal. I said this yesterday. Where are we most likely going? See this pivot top right here? That's generally where we're going to go, right to around this 4.3% level on the 10-year. That'll be first major support. Now, again, what I find fascinating about this is that, was it possible that the reversal yesterday in the 10-year, maybe some people knew that the PCE number was going to be better than expected or lower than expected, and therefore we were going to see a further downside move. Now, what's amazing about this is the confluence in all the charts. So, for instance, we knew the dollar was coming right into resistance right up here, right? So we knew we had a trend line here. It actually missed by a fraction, but overall, amazing trend line nonetheless. So we knew the dollar was likely going to pull back. which again would mean lower inflation, meaning the Fed doesn't have to be as aggressive. Therefore, yields in the dollar pull back. And we know that the market generally moves on the same thing. The market moves inverse. So if the dollar pulls back and yields pull back, what is the market going to do? It's going to rally.
That wraps up today's crypto news highlights. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and analysis from the world of cryptocurrencies. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.